pressure will rule the nation on face-to-face basis when we blast off. It's real on the fast phone. On the turf of the court, yeah, we here for the sport, so take your mask off. So I can hear your ass talk. Let me hear you explain. Hold the thoughts on your brain. Is your ass smart? Spit facts and real talk. I need that shit from the street that make you think real deep and take a long walk. This podcast is hella lit with my man J Defense and Skizzo Blizzo.
What it do, family? Back at it, man. Mask Uncovered Podcast. Check us out. All platforms. Mask Uncovered. You know, this is J Defense.
It's your boy Hollywood Skiz. This is official, unofficial start of the podcast. Next week, probably, we get the official podcast. But today, as you can see, look a little different, a little more structure to it. So, you know, stay tuned.
Y'all gonna see the bells and whistles added as we go on. But are we at how we always do it this time? I go for mine. Yo, listen, man. What you gonna take care of these boys with? How we gonna get twisted tonight, man? What's the drink of the day, man?
Oh, I got some winter shit for y'all right here. This is called the Lime Green Goose. You get your hot green tea.
Not
did
the
that
Canadian
previously.
goose.
Watch your mouth. Let me just make the drink, cuz you can talk later.
Okay.
Already filled it up. Hot water, green tea.
That's usually how you make tea, right? Okay,
Yeah.
Oh, just the typical tea.
Get a half a shot glass of the Grey Goose.
Listen.
Are y'all looking or what? Do
That's
something.
a
Just
little
don't
bit
do
less than
nothing.
a
Y'all
half.
see that? Oh no, we started late, so I need a little more.
Oh, wow.
There we go. Put the lime in it. Put the lime in the coconut. Stir it all up. Put the
So you don't have a whole lot. Like it ain't that.
Nah, lime juice, y'all. Y'all see it?
Okay. The lime Hugo.
There you
Okay.
go. Yeah,
Okay.
do something with your life.
Okay, I got it.
Stir it up, but you know we short for time tonight, so
I can.
watch it, man. I know you growing up in the projects, how y'all do shit, but nah, I grew up the hill.
Yeah, listen, welfare is welfare, baby. $10 more is $10. You end up absolved.
My
There
dude,
you go.
come on, get
Dude,
right.
Happy
This
birthday,
your first
baby.
night.
Happy birthday, baby. With your lime juice.
Ooh,
Mmm.
just say something.
Don't just do nothing.
But we're gonna get right into the sports, y'all.
Right
Get into
it,
this
baby.
Russell Wilson trade. Going to Denver for Drew Luck and a couple of first-round picks. I think Denver comes up on this trade. You know what I mean? I don't know what Seattle's going to get out of that, but 0-12 or whatever next year. So
Yo, but the pick, I mean, listen, they still got 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a 5th and a 6th in 2023. So,
But who made
I mean,
all
they
the
gave
deal?
up. I mean, I definitely like Denver actually winning AFC, man. I don't know why they keep calling the little one-shot boy Pat Mahomes the king of the castle when
look all the quarterbacks over there. Josh Allen, Herbert, they thick over there.
Facts. And Burrows, man. He
And
just won the
Burrows, they
Super
all
Bowl,
over there. So
but they're all babies to Russ, man. Russ is a beast, man. So I like the trade for Denver. But Seattle, if you're gonna give up Russ, you got a lot back, man. Like, and they got the tight end, Font. And they got the
they got a
defensive
lot
tackle.
back for a future Hall of Famer, Russell Wilson.
To get rid of him, he wanted to be traded, so they got at least a lot back in return. Like, at least they can get like just one
We ain't gonna
first
fight
round
over
pick.
this, but
Yeah.
I'll see you. I'll see you next week.
Well, now with that, moving on to Aaron Rodgers, another quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Now the deal is so-called 4 years, $200 million.
Did he sign
They
it,
say
though?
it's unofficial.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
obviously the reports usually end up being official, but we got to at least give that Aaron Rodgers just says the numbers are not official, but looks like he's going to be the first player to ever make $50 million a year in the NFL. Another quarterback that's gassed out his ass, like he ain't won a Super Bowl
He's a diva.
in some odd years.
Yeah.
And he keeps losing championship games at home. You like Brady just beat you, then you like Garoppolo just beat you at home. You didn't even get out the divisional round last year after having a first round bye. So I mean, Aaron Rodgers, I'm tired of him and his nonsense, man. And
They
I hope
created
he
that
rock right
monster.
there in Green Bay.
They treat him like Beyonce over there. That's how they treat the dude. Like that's who he is. They made him into who he is. So now don't cry about it. Now you know what I mean. He's acting like Diana Ross out here.
Yeah, facts. And I think he's going to be the same way the next 5 years, losing in the playoffs. Because that's who he is. A great regular season quarterback and losing in the playoffs quarterback. Done and done.
But sports is over right now.
Done and done.
We're moving rapidly along. We're going to get into the news. Current events. Brittany Griner, WNBA star. She played for the Phoenix Mercury, also two-time Olympic champion, still being detained in Russia. They caught her going into Russia at the customs with, I think, weed cartridges or something. And so far they're holding her until further notice. And you know, the war going on over there.
There's a war going on outside.
Nobody's safe. So who knows, you know what I'm saying, what's happening to her right now. We haven't seen any recent pictures. I think we have booking pictures. But hopefully she's okay. War times, you know, they can do anything over there.
I mean, we understand why she was over there. Obviously, they making that money, like, you know, how we keep promoting, you know, the United States of America is supposed to be the best place and all of this against countries. But, like, you look at least just in the WNBA, look at the pay, like the highest pay scale right now is like $250,000 for like a WNBA player.
Right, yeah.
But in Russia, the team she's playing for is like they're making $1 million a year.
That's exactly
They're
what she's
in
making.
luxury apartments. They have cars, picking them up. Everything's luxury for them. That's why they take that break and they go over to Russia. So,
but when it's a war, do you leave? You know what I mean? What you think about that?
Yeah, but a lot of that,
her,
like, you know, but they was there in February and what have you. So,
I'm out.
yeah, but again, it was a lot of WNBA players was over there and they escaped, you know, eventually, but they was over there for that money. So I understand that, but you know, prayers to all of them. Hopefully everybody make it back safe and sound. We ain't gonna beat that up. You guys know how it is, man. So prayers to everybody that's over there, U.S. and Ukraine. So
man, fuck Ukraine. We ain't editing that. You see how they treating us over there, black people? Shit. They ain't letting us go last on the bus. Shit. Man, I'm not. I don't feel nothing.
Well,
myself.
They just, yeah, definitely. It's a lot going on.
Yeah, we can get into it some other time, but it's deep-rooted racism in Ukraine.
Yeah. They're treating Africans a lot different over there.
Yeah, and I don't mean fuck the Ukraine people getting bombed over there. I'm just saying as a country, it's something they need to do over there, how they treat black people like they treat us over here. So
that's it, bro.
Don't run with that. I'm just tough issue.
Yeah, but definitely. So with that being said, man, we're gonna move on to another topic, man. This one's gonna be a little deeper. This is where we're gonna have to have some comments and expound on a little bit more. I don't know if you guys know who Cain Velasquez is, but he's a two-time UFC heavyweight champ. He retired in 2019. Then he became a pro wrestler in Mexico. Then he moved over to the WWE. But right now he's facing 10 counts, a felony assault. This dude, like, he found out one of his family members was molested. They say they don't want to give the age and everything, but it was a boy under 10 years old.
Tender age.
I'm sorry?
They call it tender age.
Yeah, so tender age. So, but once he found out, he got in his vehicle, was chasing down the person that allegedly molested one of his family members. 11-mile chase, rammed the car, pulled out that 40 cal, unloaded it in the car. The guy that molested the child was in the car with two other family members. One of was his step pops, and then uncle, but the step pops got hit in the arm and in the torso. So right now he's facing 10 counts.
Sister
now.
in the back told, I think. There was a sister, female in the back.
What would
family
y'all
member.
do?
So, but along those lines, man, like again, so it's a lot going on with that. And,
Make sure.
and with that being said, the person that allegedly did the molesting got arrested. Now that person's out right now.
Right, on no bail.
On no bail, but Velasquez is, got denied bail because they was like they're afraid of what he might do if he get back out.
But the pervert do whatever, he's out on 0.
And just to give a quick background of how this happened and what happened. The guy, in fact, his name is actually Harry Eugene Gorte. So he's been known to be taking some of these young kids into the bathroom. That's what they said. That's what this young kid said, is that he was brought into the bathroom over 20 times, and he's seen other kids being brought to the bathroom. And this is happening at this guy Harry's abode, where his mother owns a daycare where he lives. Right. So I had to give that a little background because people are like, okay, you will wonder like, how is he around this child, or what was the connection? So this is the connection. He lives in the building where his mother owns a daycare, and he's been so-called allegedly bringing little kids into the bathroom and playing with their genitals or what have you. But so now with that being all put out on the forefront, if you're Cain Velasquez and former athlete, not only just an athlete, because athletes have a mindset of competition, win. Like, you know, we hate to lose. Now you're actually talking about a fighter. So now you're talking about not only an athlete, not only somebody that has the attitude of I want to win, but now you're talking about every time that I go somewhere, my object is to defeat you. So now, can I blame an individual that thinks like that on a daily to have something happen to a family member to resort to violence if this is the way he was trained and brought up? I say, I hate to say it, this was just like Samuel L. Jackson. It was a time to kill.
My man.
Like that's all I can say.
No debate on that. Yeah, no debate on that. And hopefully, insanity plea or something to get him off.
What about the defense? Can y'all come with a defensive statement?
The only defense I could come up with, not being a lawyer, is insanity. You know what I mean? Act of passion or something. You know, he seen the guy and he lost it. I can't help him. I'm not a lawyer, but that's what I would go on. Him not being in his right mind. Because what else would the defense help him out with?
There's a lot of cards stacked against them, but ideally, just to have human concepts of just how this could transpire, what else would you do? Now, typically, I'm in the mindset of, okay, adults should behave like an adult. And if this happened to, you know, a young family member, what's the best thing to do is to be around for that young family member. You don't want that young family member to have that tragedy of that transpiring, and then actually losing you to the penal system. So like now, it's difficult to actually say it, but like in the moment, that's why my first thing is time to kill. Your reaction is make it happen.
That's all.
But if you had time to think, and this is what's going to be difficult for him to be, because you're on an 11-mile chase highway driving, and then you ram the car, and then you pull out a weapon, and then you shoot into a vehicle.
With other people in it.
That's the thing.
So as much as we would
An
want,
innocent person is the problem.
right? So as much as we would want to say and want to hear that, okay, this guy reacted, this happened, okay, so now you did something. It's like he had a lot of time to
11
think.
miles is a long time.
A lot of time to think, to calm down, to come down.
But he didn't.
Even if it was to grab him, punch him in his face or so. So,
but craziness lasts. It's like weed. Like craziness comes down when it's over. Like you done shot people, now you all right. But shit, that's a drug. Being crazy. Like the whole time it lasted, what, 10, 15 minutes, whatever.
Right.
You're insane. Well, that's what I say. So it's still a defense. Good luck to him.
It's not a right or a wrong, but it's just understanding and respecting everybody's perception on what's happening.
That molester ain't got no perception. Fuck
I-
him too.
I guess if we were to ask the audience, not necessarily what would you do, because I think we all would kind of say what our first step would be, but if you was the judge or the jury, like do you give a little pass? Do you look at what transpired, or do you still look at, you still can't be a vigilante?
I feel very secure with the jury. Ain't nobody. He's going down.
Who?
Where's the jury members?
Who's going down though?
I'm saying even him, like.
The molester, or are we talking about?
I think the molester is definitely going down.
I'm talking
He's
about
out on no bail.
Well, I'm talking about Velasquez.
Okay.
That's a different trial. The molester, we don't even know if he did it. I mean, hopefully they find film and all of that. But
he got arrested for it, so they had some evidence.
But he's out on bail. But either way,
charged.
I think he was that's the thing though. That's the hard part. He was very aggressive. But who's not going to be aggressive in that situation? Who's not going to defend their family? Who's not going to be like, who's not going to do it? But the judicial system says that he was wrong because he shot in a car with innocent people. He was very aggressive. He drove for miles aggressively.
Premeditated and meditated. So that's how they get you on that one. Premeditated. 11 miles.
So
you thought about it and you figured it out.
So
premeditated
versus.
But like I said, you can be as insane for all that time too. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's all he has to hang it. I hear what y'all saying, but what are they gonna do?
So you knew. It's different. I feel like, okay, a regular civilian would have been fine. You're a fighter, so you know he's gonna beat his ass. So maybe if he didn't beat him up, would that have made a difference?
Well, he know he good in jail, so when that motherfucker put that snicker on his bed, he know he ain't worried about it. He can fight like he UFC champion.
He gonna eat it and wait to be eaten. Wait to eat again.
Plenty of nuts.
You gotta go to the whole jury.
Enough to go around. Sell blood what?
What do you guys think? Do you guys have an opinion on that?
Come on, man.
And then we can move on to question of the day after they finish their
It's
comment.
crazy because the court system is a whole nother machine within itself. And when you're talking about an emotional situation where someone is told that, something possibly happened to their family member, so like that rage, is prevalent. But it depends on, how the judge explains the charges, how it was their malice. Like the emotion of how we feel is going to be taken out of that verdict. It's just that simple. So
I'm sorry, and even to interrupt you, the police report.
That may or may not make a difference, but I mean, they're looking at facts. When you're looking at a court system, they're looking at what the facts are. So they want to really strip the emotion away. Is there some? I mean, first of all, he wasn't even found guilty yet. This is an alleged situation, so he's already reacting to something that's alleged. So I don't know. I mean, the court system is so back and forth. It depends on how the jury feels. How they hear or what they can actually make their decision on. They pull a lot of charges out of that. They take a lot of things out of those decisions.
True.
Before they are, the instructions is what I'm saying. The instructions that the judge gives to the jury can be very limited.
And we ain't
on what
even
they
there
can look
yet.
at. You know what I mean? So it may not be as cut and dry to say, he's definitely going to get off or he's going to get time.
Yeah.
How about
This
you?
is
What
what
would
we
you
got.
do in some lines like that? You done with that?
He got
All
no
right, so
bail.
clap
The
on.
funny
So
thing
go
about
ahead.
it never is, because you always have the law and then you have morals.
Facts.
So
Facts.
it doesn't matter
Right.
in the
Right.
court system of the law, as a juror and stuff like that, they always got this list of law. So fuck your feelings, nigga. I don't give a fuck. That's your daughter, your niece.
And it didn't even get that far yet, yo. So, you know what I mean? We don't know about the
rules
jury.
and regulations of this courthouse.
But
fortunately and unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. 50-50.
Facts. If something happened to a family member of yours,
how would you feel?
How would you feel
How
on both ends?
On both ends.
You would want the law to work in your
On
favor.
both ends. Right.
And then you would want the law, you would want morals to work with you in the other favor.
I'm
so,
gonna be honest. If I had a family member, like for real, and I swear to God, and I mean this, if I had a family member and something happened to one of my family members, I would definitely want the law to intervene, to maybe help me and support me, because sometimes it's hard. This is like we talking family.
Right.
Sometimes this is my cousin, but you my uncle.
Mm-hmm.
You my uncle that taught me how to drive. You my uncle that took me to the prom. So sometimes, like you said, emotions plays definitely a major role, but sometimes it's very hard to separate the difference. And I ain't cut you off. Sorry, hold on. Only thing I'm gonna say though. Sorry. Only thing I was just gonna say is, what if the jury was to make a decision and it separates the family?
That's true.
Oh, the separation is already there, though.
Yeah.
But we can move on. Hey, we could be on this all night.
I know.
We gotta move on. We gotta move on,
half
y'all.
Half of the family believe it, half of the family don't.
Here we go.
We gotta move on,
Separation
y'all.
right there.
We moving on to what we do, what makes us us. Unquestion of the day. Today, Jack, what we got? Unmasked question of the day.
That's what I was looking for.
Well, it's here.
Look at that camera, baby. Unmasked. Unmasked question of the day. Here we go. Now, this is gonna be deep. That's why we cut a lot of stuff short, man, because we're gonna need comments from everybody, man. How did fathers lose control of head of the household? And what steps do we need to take to regain that position, the head of the household?
Society.
So, again, just throwing out ideas, concepts. I'm looking at, I literally just wrote down 3 parts, but it's so deep, and I'm not gonna go on a tangent. So I just wanted to go through, okay, for one, part is the welfare system. You know, that's a lot of blame to go around, but the welfare system. Only allowing housing and funds to be allocated as long as no man was around. Mm-hmm. I would say the other part is the woman having more going on for themselves. So educated, more working, no more just stay at home, keeping the family together, you know, ignoring rumors and accepting the man's transgressions, okay? The other part is, just the third part, men not being men. At some point, being a good, strong family father figure, head of the household, dwindled. It became acceptable to leave a family behind. So back in the days, it was cool to have, you know, your boys, your friends, whatever, that would rip and run, that, you know, have a shorty over here and there, but we would always say, or somebody would always comment like, listen, make sure home is good, like, yo, shorty called me, like, yo, the kids. So at some point, men not being men became a problem also. So now, I wanted to give everybody a shot at it. I just wanted to throw those 3 little things out for me personally, and then let's move on.
Well, like you said, this is crazy because this can go anywhere. This is so deep, but for
and wherever y'all want to go with it, y'all don't have. That was just my 3 points. Sorry to interrupt.
And everybody be respectful of time and everyone else who has something to say too.
Smart man.
Me, I just think the problem is I just think it got lost somewhere, and maybe my father or his father. So I don't really know where it started, where we got lost, but it's a trained thinking that's put us out of the household. So it's a lot of, you can go system. That's another episode, another podcast, because the system, of course, the system's in there is unfair.
Facts.
But where do our blame come? And a lot of our blame comes from our fathers, and what we were taught. And my father, he was at the house. That doesn't mean he was a father. He was there, and he was visual. So that was better than most in my community. You know, at least he was there. So I knew who he was. A lot of people didn't even know who their father was.
That went up on us.
Right.
Okay.
So but parenting, I wasn't taught how to treat a woman, how to, from what I seen him do, to provide for my mother. So what I seen is what I thought was a man. And I think a lot of my peers felt the same way, or even worse, they didn't even see their fathers, or some passed away, but still had fatherless situations in their family. So I don't want to control this conversation because I can go for days, but I think it starts with past generations and what we're taught from each generation. We lose it a little more, and that's what you're seeing now.
I think that's bullshit.
I can vibe with that too. My fault. I ain't want to cut nobody
No,
off.
I was bullshit.
No. I'm bullshit anyway, but I just wanted to piggyback. But you said the system. I'm going to come from the system perspective. So that's a conversation for another time.
Yeah.
Because that's the biggest elephant in the room.
No, but just your point, but just
Right.
keep it
Yeah,
short
that's
to the
the
point.
big- oh,
yeah,
I mean,
whatever
from-
affects you, whatever you think is the point. I just gave 3 quick ones. I ain't want to dominate the
I wasn't even
conversation.
talking about yours. Hold on.
Yeah,
Skip
yeah.
from the split.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No, I
Skip
said the
from-
system.
I hear you, my dude. I hear you, my dude. Drink up, nigga. I know when you get started.
I ain't even trying to come in. I ain't fucking with you. I've been drinking.
Drink
I'm
that.
trying to be quiet. I got to go outside. But nah.
No,
Take
finish.
a drink.
No,
Take
finish.
a
Finish.
take a
The
quick
system.
drink.
The system.
Okay.
Because, you know, there's something called generational curses. There's just so much. But if you just date it back to the 70s, the 80s, you know, the crack cocaine, all type of stuff. So you have to implement so much into the thought process of any film. I mean, on the books, women can prosper off the fact that ain't no man in the crib. Welfare. You know what I'm saying? And then, so I look at it now, like I'm telling my
Are they
mom,
really
like Barack
prospering?
Obama, the Democratic Party, they'd rather babysit you. They, you know, just give you stuff instead of giving you avenues to think yourself out of a situation. There's, take these Barack Obama phones, take welfare, you know, just take this 5, 10, 15, 20. Before you know it, you 60 years old, you've been on welfare, you ain't thought about it. So I think it's really, the blame is really on the government. But for us, scared, I swear for goodness.
Where's our blame, though, is what I'm saying.
Right.
That's what
I was
this
just about to
night's
say
about.
that. I mean, because you
Because
touched
they
on
allowed
something.
it. They allowed it.
Oh, definitely.
They allowed it.
Definitely.
The men,
It's our fault that our women marry the government. Because they're married with
It
the
ain't
government.
our fault.
It's part of our fault.
It ain't our fault.
Yes,
I
it
think
is.
it's part of our fault.
What is it?
I think it's part of our fault.
Here's my thing, and I don't know you, and I'm not trying to judge you, but what I'm saying is, if you would have been, no shade to you.
No, I'm
respectfully,
listening.
If you would have been doing what you was doing, or wasn't doing, or possibly whatever the situation was, she wouldn't have to go to the government.
Absolutely right. Now, let me ask you this question.
Yep.
So, do you know that there was factories in Detroit for the motor? So, certain people can go to college, school, learn,
So they went
and have
away. So they went away to work.
and have that, right?
So they went away
But
to
do
work.
Let
you
them
know
finish,
that
let them
for
finish.
so many years, black men can support their family off of trade. But
So you
now
have to go away to
OIC
work.
at Madison Park, because I'm from Boston, so right down here, they took the trade programs away from us.
True.
So we can support our families. So once they take that away from you, but it started way before the trade. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm always gonna be on the government. It's always the government.
So what I'm gonna say
That's
is
a
there's
bad way to think.
No, but there's men that are out here. Listen, and
No, they are.
No,
Bad
and
way
if you
to
working
think.
hard and if you sacrifice for your family, can't nobody take that from you.
Right. But
You
that's
did-
a small
you did-
percentage though. You
and-
gotta look at the
and it's a
government.
small
So
percentage.
this,
Excuse me, let me
Yep.
interrupt. not to dwell on each point, because I definitely love what you guys are saying, but we want to make it succinct with everybody's point of view. So I love your point of view. We can get back to it, but we want to actually add other people's point of view, and then maybe we'll get back to that. Because I definitely want to add and subtract.
Government. Mine was the government. Go ahead.
Yep. But I just want to hear from T-Mac. What did you want to say about that?
I mean, to me, it goes all the way as far back as slavery. I mean, the one thing
So I'm a slave?
Slavery.
No.
Slavery. Absolutely.
I mean, the
William
one
Lynch.
thing,
Willie
the
Lynch.
one thing that, you know,
Willie
the
from the
colonists
project?
knew that we had was unity. And the black male was the head of that household and the head of that unit. So what's the first thing that happened? Separation.
Separation.
Take the head away.
So
Right there.
it begins there. And then when you look at, okay, slavery now is abolished, but now you have families that have been completely separated. So you don't know where your wife is, your children is, and whatever. So then, okay, we want to bump up, say, let's to the 60s and 70s where it may have been a situation where you do had some black men that were in homes and married and all of this. What's the next thing that take place?
Drugs.
Project,
Welfare. Drugs.
welfare.
Drugs.
So
Rick
it-
Ross.
it's-
Not,
CIA.
not drugs
so
in the
it goes
South.
from
No, not this.
it goes from slavery up until, you know, even today. There's systems
Yeah.
being set up
Mm-hmm.
for the black family not to be a unit.
Red
So
line.
But
in some ways, you know, I mean, I feel for black men. If there is no opportunity for you other than you going to jail because there is no trades for you, they don't make it possible for a family to
Be
benefit
structured.
off of our tax dollars that the colonists get with no problem being in a family unit, but we seem to have issues when we want to have those benefits. So, I mean, it's hard. It's hard, but it goes back to the beginning.
What would
What's up,
y'all
my
do?
guy?
My thing is, I'm with Tam. It goes all the way back to slavery. The thing is with that, I've developed to look and see and do what my father did but didn't do.
Yep.
My father was a hell of a man but a hell of a whore. Took care of home, left home.
Yep.
So you take the ins and outs of that and make your own way. I've still been a man to all my kids, but I haven't been a man to all the women that made them kids.
Right.
So it still leads and it still goes that way,
That's
but
real,
I still
very
show
respectful.
difference.
That's very respectful because you understand
Man.
your faults.
Good words, bro. Good words.
Now, I swear I love those words that you just spoke. Because obviously there's a lot of places, and this is why just speaking those three truths for me in the beginning and keeping everything succinct, because this is actually Mask Uncovered podcast. Everybody has their own opinion, but there's so much to grasp from. And everybody has a true feeling about where they assume it's from. And I could go on each category and show. There's definitely a lot from the man. Me being a man's man, like understanding, respect the responsibility. Something you just said a few minutes ago, man. That's major. Like, I really feel like if a lot of us men stood up and thought like that now, and I think I'm seeing it a lot more from some of my peers that, 20 years ago they wasn't thinking like that, moving like that, but they're able to say that, like what you just said today. You didn't say that 20 years ago, because obviously you just made a statement that actually admitted to you not being there. And I'm hearing that and seeing that a lot more from some of our young men. So, but there's a lot more, and I ain't gonna dominate the conversation again, but societal is a big thing. Men being a part of our kids' life and not turning over. I don't want to dominate. What you want to say?
I did want to add real quick, because I don't want to beat too much up on the men, but, to kind of piggyback off of Trash's point of, you do as a man what you see or what you're taught. So do women.
Mm-hmm.
So if women have been taught generation upon generation upon generation that you don't need no man, we got your back, we can help you, then it's so easy for you not to value the father of your child or your husband or your boyfriend or whoever you're married.
Even yourself.
You know what I
As
mean?
a queen.
So it's so easy to, you know, put that man out or, you know, or act like, you know, you
disregard.
don't need his help or whatever it is. So I don't want to just, you know, dump on the men because the same way men learn from their past and their history, so do women.
But it's not it's you all getting caught up on the system and slavery. Okay, I can go talk for that for days. Right. But what we're trying to do here is
change something.
Change. So if you all want to dwell on that, then there's no hope. Is what I'm saying. If you all want to dwell on the system, hold on. I didn't have no thought yet. Hold on. Sorry. If y'all want to dwell on the system and slavery, what happened, which is absolutely true. But what I'm saying is you're giving no fault to some of these men are leaning on the system excuse as a crutch, and that's what I'm talking about. We have to do something, and the things we have to do is with the men who are woke, the men who are in their households. There are some strong men in the household. They have to teach their sons, and you know we have to start somewhere. We can't just keep blaming the system. We can't do that.
Who's doing the teaching?
Because the father, it starts with the father. It starts with me, you, JD, Trey. That's where it starts, and we see where that goes from there. It might not go anywhere, but
have our fathers
Like we learn from our fathers who didn't learn nothing.
But you gotta learn today.
So you're saying since our fathers didn't teach us that, and we became who we are, it's okay. Let's just.
No.
So I don't want to go through the excuses. What I'm saying anymore.
The further we go back, the further and the less our fathers have been taught.
True.
So it's up to us to change.
That's what I just said.
Absolutely.
So that was a question.
Hold on.
What?
We've got to be strong enough to change it. There's some men that grew up with us that wasn't as strong as us.
But if you listen to what I said it's the strong ones who have to help. It's a community. It's a community-based effort.
But you can't blame the ones who wasn't strong enough because
nowhere have I said no, not at all. Not blame. I said we strong ones have to. Yeah.
One thing I do want to add. How I want to incorporate society
men have some blame
with men. This is because I think that we keep blocking it off. Society, men, women. Okay, so now this is just one way of blending the two. So society is the welfare projects, things showing women that okay, you could do it on your own, keep the man out the house, and then men maneuver in a certain way where they're like, okay, well, she's acting this way, I don't have to be a man, and so forth. So now, if we could blend the two, society is actually teaching men what to do too. So, like you said, without a father in a household, they're teaching it. So, how else am I going to learn how to be a man if there's no man in the house? I'm learning from. Let me just finish. I'm learning from society. Society is telling me what I'm supposed to do.
TV,
so
radio, music,
again,
influence.
So now it becomes cool to leave a family. It becomes cool to not be a part of that. So I think that everything is all. That's why I brought up those 3 topics. But you see how I didn't expand on all of them. And I love the fact that we all have, because people are passionate about one or the other, or 2 or the other. It's a lot of dynamics. We know that we're not going to solve the world's problems, but I love the fact that just with this, that's why I tied it to.
I like the way you did that, because it right into
that's exactly what I'm saying. So I ain't gonna dominate. Just hold on, till you had a hand up, and then we go right to you.
I just want to throw a little bit of a monkey wrench in this conversation, because I just strongly feel that what's kind of being underlooked here is what about. We talking about a lot of these men being raised up in houses with just their mothers with no fathers. But we're not really addressing the point that some of these mothers are raising their sons to be their man. So they can't be a man to a woman.
Yep.
To their mother, at least, right?
You know what I mean?
That's 100% true.
So it's easy to go into a situation with a woman.
Yeah.
And
because society put that much on a woman's shoulder.
Because your mother has raised you to be her man.
Right.
So now there's a problem.
And
not
even knowing too.
And to build on top of what you was gonna say, my only thing is I was just gonna say, even with like the moms and the dads and the relationships and it's just so different because sometimes, and I'm gonna just say what I gotta say.
Speak it. This is masculine comment, baby. Let it all
lot
hang
of
out.
times, some of the women or some of the people that just because you birth a child does not mean you're ready to raise a child. Just because you got pregnant does not mean you're ready to be a mother and produce a decent human in this world. So we're not even talking about the trauma that the mother done produced to her child. But you said it, but you didn't say it, but you said it. Like, we're not talking about what the mom produces. You said it like mom and son, but it's not even. It's deeper than that.
I hate to interject. I love what you're saying, but if I say it, I'm knocking females.
No,
I'm glad that
I'm a female that said it.
No, I'm just saying right here on camera, Masculine Come Podcast. I love what you're saying. Some of these females,
oh my
God,
first of
a
all,
lot of them are not ready.
First of all, not ready. Choosing men that they know are not ready.
Choosing men for the wrong reason.
So again, hold on.
A man to keep them. All
right. So of course, all of these subjects that we brought up, we know that we could go down the rabbit hole. We know that it could be an hour podcast. So we're not going to do that. We already know that. We're touching on it. But what you just said, I was leaving it up to a female to say it, but of course you just said it. So some of these females are actually choosing. I brought up the female aspect of when in the 50s, 60s, females sat at the house, they just was housewives.
Domestic.
So when the father was banging the next door neighbor, it didn't matter. Like, you was still like, okay,
it was a man's
I'm okay.
World, though. Yeah,
it's a man's world.
Yeah.
So a lot of shit done changed. A lot of shit done changed for the female, right? So standing off of that aspect, that's what I brought up. That aspect. Women are now different, where they're no longer just that category. I didn't bring up that other category, what you just brought up, so it's two different categories. That category of the woman just sitting at home, oh, I hear the rumors and I know that it's going on, but I'm going to just sit down at the house. That's gone.
Trauma.
Now, these other chicks, like you just brought up, now some of these chicks is just out here trying to get it how they live. They're just trying to get knocked up by anybody that looked like they had $10 more than the next man.
It's not that.
Do you all know how negative this is? And can we go back to the question, which is, we overcompensate for why the father's not in the family. We so negative, like we have no hope. The other half of this, let's figure out what to do is what I'm saying. Okay, we know all this shit y'all talking, but it has to be a solution or nothing. Each one teach one or something like
education.
That. Okay, then let's get on that now. I'm sick of the shit like why we can't do shit or what's happening. What do we do now? That's what part we on now.
Okay,
education.
All right, so
education, bro.
That's a smart man. I love the way. I love the way.
I think so too.
I love the way we just.
So let's
So
want this to be a positive podcast.
Hold on, real quick.
Can I say something real quick?
I'm about to introduce you right now because I just wanted to say, based off of what he just said, I'm not speaking on. I just wanted to say, because what he just brought up is a two-part question. How did fathers lose control of the head of the household? And then what steps do we need to take to regain that position? That's all I wanted to say. He was smart on. All right, we talked about the beginning, and that's all I wanted to do.
And the only thing I just wanted to say is that sometimes the issue is that, like you said, when you're not home, you lose control. If you, let's say you're a dad, you went to jail for 3 years, you come back, your household, men usually are the ones that, men maintain that, if I'm saying it right, men get the house and women maintain the house. If it makes sense.
I see what you're going. Yeah.
So if a man gets the house, but if a woman gets the house, she has to get the house and maintain the house. So she's doing too much.
Society
she's doing a lot.
On her. Society.
So what would you?
Not without interrupting.
What would you do to fix that? What's your suggestion on how to fix that? Just a suggestion.
My suggestion would be, to be honest, and I'm kind of borderline in the same situation. That's my life. It is what it is.
But
my suggestion would be to get my son a male figure to talk to, because I don't want him.
Great.
You know what I'm saying?
Great.
Like, you gotta understand
Exactly.
that.
You're one of the few.
There's
Most
some-
women want to be the father.
exactly.
And
That's great.
Okay.
That's great. What you just said. That's going down the right road.
Because I was going to say,
Yeah,
before we
yeah.
continue,
That's going down the right
before
road.
Yeah.
we continue, because I want everybody to speak. But please know that's exactly where we want to go.
Yep,
Bring
exactly.
up
where we
something,
wanna
but
go.
bring up what you think is the solution. That's exactly what we just wanted. Thank you. And then Ralph, and then we can all
education.
go. But just
piggybacking off.
let's not just keep
exactly.
diving
That's
into
right.
the problem.
Right.
Just say,
education.
Because all
Okay.
shows
Like,
do
and
that.
you
And
know,
it's
he
never a
touched on
solution
it.
area.
But he touched on it, but he didn't touch on it. I think
Okay.
he had a finger, a knuckle.
But
He had
it's
something.
different coming from a woman.
Okay,
It's
you
different
know.
coming from a woman.
No, I don't know.
Don't come for me,
what do
alright?
you say?
I can't wait, girl.
Oh,
In the middle of my
Don't be-
Hey, we got people over here who want to
All
talk.
right, so
education.
We got people.
That's
He said education.
Education.
That's
Education.
right.
We got to educate you
So your point, and
Oh,
then what do you
but-
think we could do to change?
to piggyback, because I might have learned
you been
something
piggybacking
today.
all night. Nigga,
No,
can
no,
you
I'm
walk?
saying I couldn't. I
What's wrong with your shoes, Mr. Guy?
So I might learn something that you might not have learned.
I'm just
You know what I'm saying? But as my brother, but as men, sometimes nigga, you trying to tell me what to do, or you belittling me.
Right.
Now, so my brother's keeper. So if we have that mutual feeling
gotta-
amongst each other, I should be able to come to you and be like, yo, Ralph,
That means
listen,
you gotta
bro.
be
That's
in
a
an
solution.
understanding state.
Right,
You
right.
gotta
Ralph,
understand?
listen, bro.
Let him give us a solution.
That's not what it is. I experienced it this way.
Right.
This is what
Yeah,
it
got
is.
it.
So,
Right.
but you have this millennial generation. They ain't not hearing none of that shit. But I know.
But that's exactly what I'm-
But at least
well,
you gave
everybody
me
got
solution.
something.
Exactly,
Yeah,
bro.
so-
Exactly.
I know, exactly.
Right,
exactly.
right.
We're not asking you to
I-
solve the issue.
Because there's a lot of people looking at this who gonna feel like it's nothing we can do
At least
because we're
10,
telling you
at
like,
least
yeah,
10.
that's what.
10 million.
My brother's
At least
keeper.
10 million.
My
At
brother's
least 10
keeper.
million.
What?
Y'all better know it's 10 million watching right now. Y'all ain't looking. Listen. Look
Hey, yo,
at
JD,
the phone.
show me, nigga, 10 people.
And 9 because my mother was asleep.
You got 10 minutes.
You got 10 minutes. I can show you 10 million.
You didn't say 10 million, you said 10 midgets.
I said I can show you
You got
10.
10 minutes
I can show you
to hurry up and edit this video.
You said 10 midgets, 10
I
midgets.
said I could show you.
10
I said I could show
Hey,
you.
come on
10
though.
million.
Let's put this effort
Nah,
into
this
these
is real.
solutions
Okay,
out here,
all
y'all.
right,
I
yeah,
like
Let's
that.
put
so
these
let's
solutions
get
out
to
here.
that, and then
JD, what's
let's go
back?
running.
I was like, when you came in at next to the car.
Go ahead,
I mean, I
T-Mac.
think one of the solutions could be that, there needs to be some type of mentorship, for men that are teaching men the difference between being a good father, but also what's the difference between being a good father versus being a good man?
Right.
Because that's why you're out the home. You're not a good man. You may be a great father, but you're not a good man.
Right.
So just having that part, really teaching men
Facts of
how
that.
to be men, I
Right.
think is a good start.
Excellent start. I think so.
Excellent. Travis, go ahead. Hurry up, please.
There is hope, is what I'm saying. There's hope.
I'm with Tam. I'm the greatest father there is.
Was you in the home or was you out the home? If you don't mind me asking.
I raised mine. I took my kids from their mother. I raised mine. I'm a great father. I had to leave the mother because I wasn't a great man.
Right.
So
You know what I'm saying?
But he can be a
I
great
love-
father.
I'm an old man that love all women.
Right.
I had a problem with women.
It was
I had a problem with women. I loved women. Fathering my
You
kids
like
was
women,
never
but you
an
love your
issue.
kids.
It was never an issue.
Right.
Oh, he
Fathering
loved
my
his
kids was never an issue.
He loved his
Being
kids to
with
this
that
day.
one woman was my issue. So taking care of the kids,
That's my job.
I'm
That's
on
not
it.
my job. That's my role.
it wasn't her role. It was my
You
role.
took it on, so say that.
Like, I was at a point where I wouldn't even let a woman raise my kids.
And
Wow.
basically to
Wow.
almost end it,
Wow.
I'm sure we have a few more
Wow.
words, but
Got a nigga thinking.
just knowing,
Absolutely.
what the statistics are is also a help. If you know, as a father, not being in the home, that I don't know the percentage right now. I know last year maybe 70% are runaways without a father in the house. Another 60% go to drugs. Another 50% are in jail. 80% are dead. More than 90% is pregnant. You know what I mean? Like, if you know those statistics, maybe that can help with some fathers when they make choices of, let me go get this pack and get this off, or let me join this gang and ride with these niggas. Maybe when you know these stats, when you're leaving your house, maybe this might deter you from making these decisions. You know, that's a.
Excuse me, let me ask you a question, because I directly to you.
Yeah.
We talk about the men and you know what we can do.
Right.
What
No,
part
enough
of
of that
rap?
shit. No.
What part of the music industry?
All of it.
Now, excuse me, because you have to remember, I'm 45. So back in the 90s, the rap music that we listening to today. So now you talk about the man, right?
Yep.
So
Which man?
let's
The
say
man?
we could be a father tragic,
What's your question?
but to rap music.
What about it?
Plays a major influence.
What does that influence have on the children? You could be a father in the household, but society, right? The government, remember we was going back. So my question is, fuck the government. But the music genre that they listen to right now.
But that's what we just got away from. That's the beginning of this. That's a negative.
And if
What
you
we're
let
saying
the
is,
music fuck up your child's
what we're saying is,
household,
if we're concentrating on the pop,
asking you, what's the
I'm giving you the answer. If you let me know, if we're concentrating on the positive right now, we're putting fathers back in the home now, so they'll monitor that. Man, turn that shit. You're not listening to that. Like, go get on the computer, do your math. So what I'm saying is, we're on the solution part. So the solution part is putting fathers back into the home where this rap. We can even explain it. If they're listening to it, we can explain it. Like, that's too old. We used to do this back in the day. So if a father's in the home, I think they can monitor and deter kids from going any direction.
The same father listening to the same music.
No, but I think
true.
Here's my
no,
story.
really quick before
That part's true too. But what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is, if a father's in the house, listen to the same music.
We can't overtalk each other.
If the father's in the house, listen to the same music, and the kids listen to the same music. Let's just say, for instance, that's the case. If he's in the house, at least maybe it might be the bullshit. At least he can be like, this is why they say this. This is why they say that. Rather than him just listening by himself, and like, fuck that, shoot that. That's it.
That's it. That's what I wanted to ask.
All right. So, real talk to sum this up.
Cool.
Listen, Masculine Cover Podcast, we're always going to dive into deep topics, right? Like, where we're not looking to give answers, but we're just looking to give our opinions, right? And we're always going to have audience members. At some point, you're going to be able to see all the faces that's within this room. If they want their names disclosed, they'll say it before they pod or what have you. But either way,
Clear the warrants up, y'all, so y'all get on TV.
all we have to do is say is that this was a deep topic, man. And we definitely know, I mean, you're talking about, people that live this life, man. Like,
Exactly.
that came from it, that was our fathers to their kids, and want to see just all of us do better. And
Right. Exactly.
so long as you know that,
Great words.
whether you agree or disagree with how we come at it or what we're saying, let's all just try to figure it out. But once again, man, this was just a blessing to be in the presence of the family, the friends, man. This is Masculine Cover Podcast, man. Hit us up on all, hit us up on all platforms, man. Masculine Cover Podcast.
Subscribe, like,
And y'all
comment.
can see, man, this is just the beginning, man.